Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again with, you guessed it, another Chainhook build. Now, it's been about a year since the last time I played Chainhook, and I guess that is enough time for some wounds to heal. As they say, time heals all wounds. And yeah, for the most part, have forgotten how painful it was from a year ago, and thought it was time to give it another shot as a maximum meme build, since it still gets pitched a lot for a skill that's like, oh my god, chain hook, make that work, it looks shit, etc. And yep, we're trying it again. I did try it a bit in the gauntlet, but obviously that's a very tough circumstance, and that is pure suffering. This time around, I am doing it as an occultist with some explosions. I really wanted to play an occultist with some explosions sometime soon, and this seemed like a good opportunity to do it, as we are a full strength stacking Alberon's replica Alberon boot occultist. So we stack a lot of chaos and then use the sort of chaos explosions for a bit of extra clear, the negative chaos from occultist, the withered, all of that good stuff. And then on top of that, I am using repentance gloves, iron fortress chest, and a crown of eyes to stack our strength into physical damage, into spell damage, into attack damage. And I'll go over that in a sec when we look at the gear. But all in all, that gives you something like 900% increased damage, and it's kind of the reason that we have a bit of damage on this strength stacking non-poison and just fairly thick build. Also using a replica Frost Breath to double our damage against chilled enemies, which is pretty much always, given that I have Skitterbots up. And on top of that, we can then use Shockwave through our Frost Breath to once again fill in some of the gaps of the clear. So ultimately, the clear on the character, not too bad. We have some Chaos Pops, we have some Shockwave, hit pretty damn hard, fairly thick as a character, almost got 6k life at like level 83 or 4 or something like that, and block capped with some life on block action. So we're looking pretty, and I think I've died once, and that was to not looking at the screen and like AFKing. So otherwise, pretty much a hardcore viable character thus far. And I think in general, this is just going to be a decent template to play other skills with, because let's be real, no one's going to copy this, nor should they, because I'm doing it to kind of force stuff and prove points and stuff, but it's pretty uncomfortable to actually pilot this shit, since Chainhook, even from a year ago, hasn't really been seen any love, and mechanically just kind of janky. When you fire out a chain and you miss something, even if it's right next to the enemy, like, a pixel next to it, your chain just hits the ground and you're standing there holding your dick, looking like an idiot. And it just can get you in so many shit situations like that. And on top of that, it doesn't really matter how fast you become, what you do to your character, the animation speed, I believe, is always pretty much the same. Or at least that's what it feels like. You can get 1 billion attack speed, and then when you whip out and whip yourself in, it just still can be pretty slow and pretty uncomfortable. So if they just, made Chainhook sort of hit in a radius and target a bit more intuitively, or you could just actually whip to wherever you click, regardless of what you target, maybe it'd be a pretty good skill, but no. So anyway, let's jump into how I've built the character so far, just so you can see what's going on. So here we are with the character, level 84, extra strength copium, so stacking strength, and we are high on copium, saying that Chainhook can be made a build with this chaos strength stack interaction. It turned out better than I thought it would thus far anyway, but ultimately I am still playing Chainhook, and you can't get past that. So yeah, the main interactions in the character are based around the boot, so a lot of extra chaos damage per 80 strength. I've built around it before, but more as a poison character. You still definitely can build around it as a poison character. On this one, like I said, more focused on the chaos pops and just hitting hard. So that's what we've gone ahead and done. And double damage doesn't really interact with poison, so doesn't really make sense to do the poison sort of stuff here. Attacks of this weapon deal double damage to chilled enemies. So we chill enemies through our Skitterbots. So we stack a lot of strength, currently have 2094, can get more, but this might be around where I'm comfortable sitting at the moment. We'll see if we can get any more. You have to go up in like thresholds of 80 to properly make use of something like the boot. So yeah, decent little bit of attack speed, some chaos res, shit like that, and then double damage with our attacks. So as you can see, we've got like 2,000 to 60,000 chaos, which big range. There's a bit of high rolling involved in your sort of single target, but you know, it gets us there. The other funky interactions in this build are then the combo of Iron Fortress, Repentance, and Crown of Eyes. Now, I'm far from the first person to do this, but I will explain it to you. Basically, strength damage bonus usually gives you 1% melee physical damage. So Iron Fortress makes that give you 3% instead per 10 strength. Repentance then gives you Iron Will. Iron Will makes your physical damage application, strength damage bonus, apply to spell damage, as well as the melee damage here. And then that spell damage gets applied to your attacks as attack damage at 150% of the value. And like I said, in total, it's something like 900 to 1,000% increased damage, and that's pretty much where we get most of our damage from. Take off just about any of these items, and as you can see, we lose quite a bit of DPS. Roughly, yeah, like most of it, by taking any of these items off. But that's the main funky interactions. Iron Fortress also has a lot of block per 50 strength, so we can get pretty much block capped in this build, 75 at the moment. The chest itself gives me like 40 right now, 41 I think it is. And that is pretty damn girthy. So then I've also picked up a Synthesis Shield. This one was on the market for like 20C or some shit, or I can't even remember how much it was. It was drastically underpriced, I think, because you can start out with life on block, the 5%, that's the stuff that's important. The additional bit of extra life hardly matters, but you can get a synthesis life on block. There's a few of them out there. Otherwise, you have to craft a Shaper Shield with the life on block. It just makes it a little bit thicker. So the more life we get, the more powerful this becomes, and hopefully we get a little bit more. Otherwise, we are just stacking strength everywhere we can. So Synthesis Belt, stack strength. Synthesis Amulet, stack some strength. Got to use some strength essences or some chaos spam. I put in plenty of chaos spam here or there. And then we're just wearing a lot of uniques. And then a bit of strength and resist, strength, resist, a bit of int, because we do also have to hit this hefty 306 int requirement on the gloves. But yeah, it's pretty tough to get resists on this build. I'm still not quite capped and still working on that through like a dual socket or two. But it has been tough and a challenge. So I did take these nodes over here and figuring out this passive tree as an occultist start, and then converting some stuff and going for chaos, only attack chaos type nodes and some mace nodes. It's been a real challenge trying to figure this out. And I think I'm still not done either. We'll have to see exactly where it takes me, but that's currently the passive tree. We get some resist and block over here. We get one cluster at the moment. Just to get Overlord for very reliable Fortify. We otherwise can get Fortify on Shield Charge, but with Chain Hook, you know, it's a bit weird, so it'd be nice to actually just Chain Hook and get Fortify. The Overlord node is very rare, so comboing it with anything is pretty tough, and there's not anything we really want to combo too much if we're being non-crit anyway. We then grab this medium cluster just for a bit of extra curse damage, blind, and culling. Which will, yeah, currently good stuff, I think. The blind, we need a curse on hit though, which I'll set up sometime soon, I think. I'm going to grab some small passives. This one's got some strength and all stats and surging vitality. This one's a wall of muscle with a bit of strength as well. Dual sockets, just a bit of attack speed and strength and resistance stuff, same thing over there, and then the lethal pride goes over here and hopefully gives us some percent strength. I divined a few of these, and we have strength there, and a bit of nothing basically. So that's the build, that's what we're going for. We've got this block node as well for a bit of damage. Starting to get a bit more life, so maybe hit 7k life when it's all said and done. I have to wait and see. Currently the build's got something like 2 to 3 million DPS, which isn't absolutely nothing for Chain Hook. As you can see, I was using multi-strike, so one click does this. Yeah, it's pretty slow, but it has felt kind of like a good thing having Chainhook use multi-strike at the moment, because if it hits a pack and there's another pack over there, it's just going to whip straight to it. So it becomes this sort of weird flicker strike sort of interaction, but not as fast or good, you know? We then have Pulverize. We've got Chainhook, which is divergent, just so it goes a bit better range. Shockwave, that's a bunch of extra damage, and Clear, using faster attacks for Clear, but we will sub in Void Manipulation for single target, and then Ruthless as well. I do have a Skitterbot set up here. Currently running Shield Charge with a bit of extra Rage generation. Blasphemy with Punishment, that's my second curse, my first being Despair. And then just an Ancestral Protector at the moment. And my Ascendancy, first two were into the Profane Bloom for the explosions, then went into the Chaos shit, then took a second curse, and then even more Chaos shit. So it's pretty good for resists. Chaos Resist, so a fairly thick character, and overall, I don't know, maybe I can just outlast a bunch of enemies, but I'll have to wait and see about the single target. Haven't taken on any serious content yet. Like I said, I think it can be a bit of a template for other characters. I think other people played like some Cyclone, maybe some Earthquake. Incorporate Shockwave, can probably do just about anything. So yeah, Chainhook. Let's see how it goes in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.